Namaste Gurukulians. I hope you all are fine at home. I am Pratibha, working as teacher English in the Gurukul, going to teach you a chapter of class 6, and the name of the chapter is sportsmanship. It's chapter 2 of unit 4. So before starting the chapter, I will tell you about author. The author of this chapter, sportsmanship, is Ramendra Kumar. The name of the author is Ramendra Kumar. He is an award-winning Indian writer of children's book. His work has been translated into several Indian and foreign languages. He also writes satire, poetry, travelogues and fiction. So this is about the author of this chapter, and he is an inspirational speaker also. He is an inspirational speaker also and storyteller for children. Storyteller for children. Now, in this chapter, sportsmanship, today we will do reading of this chapter. We will do reading of this chapter. It's a very interesting chapter. I hope you will like it. And before starting the chapter, I want to ask you all, what is the meaning of sportsmanship? What is the meaning of sportsmanship? So, according to the chapter is based on sportsmanship. So, it is mandatory to know the meaning of sportsmanship. So, the quality of being fair, generous and polite when you are playing a game or doing sport. So, this is sportsmanship, when you being fair, generous and polite when you are playing games. Fine? So, let's start the chapter, and the characters of the story are Mother and Nikhil. Characters are Mother and Nikhil. Mother and Nikhil are best friends. They are best friends in the story. They both were good in studies, but Nikhil is better in sports. Nikhil is better in sports. Okay? So, let's begin the chapter. Mother and Nikhil were class 6 students of the Sunflower High School. While both were good in studies, Nikhil was far better in sports. I told you here that Nikhil was better in sport, but in studies both were doing good. Fine, and they were studying in Sunflower High School in standard 6. He was a natural sportsman and took to almost any sport like a duck takes to water. A duck takes to water. What does mean? To learn very quickly and easily. The meaning of a duck takes to water is to learn something very quickly and easily. So, Nikhil was very smart and he was able to learn everything very easily. The only sport in which Mother had an edge over Nikhil was swimming. Had an edge. Again, had an edge means to be slightly better than someone else. To be better than someone. So, in swimming, only in swimming, Madan was good. Madan was doing better than Nikhil. Only in swimming. He had been swimming ever since he was a kid and was very good at it. Because Madan was doing swimming since his childhood. Nikhil had taken to swimming after his father became a member of the city club a year ago. And Nikhil started doing swimming just an just a year ago. In just one season, he had become an expert. But in one season, he had become an expert. Nikhil had become an expert in swimming. One day, the sports teacher announced that an inter-school swimming competition was being organized by the Youth Hostel Association of India at the City Club for different age groups. So there will be a competition of inter-school swimming competition, and it was organized by the Youth Hostel Association of India. So there would be a preliminary selection at 10 a.m. at the club to pick the participants from the Sunflower High School. So there was a trial, there was a preliminary selection before the final competition. In each event, only one participant would be selected to represent the school. So only one student will be selected. Would be selected for the finals. For one sport, one candidate. Both Nikhil and Madan gave their name for 50-meter freestyle. So Nikhil and Madan was both interested in swimming, so they gave their name for the swimming competition. Every evening they went to practice. On Saturday, at the insistence of his classmates, Madan agreed to participate in a mock race with Nikhil. So, on Saturday, on the demand of his friends, Madan agreed to participate in a mock race. Mock race means practice before the competition with Nikhil. So, their friends forced them for a mock race before the real competition. So they both agreed. He was extremely nervous and tense. Who was nervous and tense? Madan was nervous and tense because Nikhil was doing great in sports. What he had been dreading the most, dreading means to fear something. To fear something actually happened. And Madan was thinking that Nikhil will win the race, and that exactly that happened. He lost to Nikhil. This meant that if the same thing happened the next day, Nikhil and not he would represent the school in the 50-meter freestyle. Madan knew he would never be able to bear that. The whole night he kept tossing and turning in bed. Madan was unable to sleep that day when he lost in swimming. That day when he lost in swimming, and he was unable to sleep, he was tossing and turning in bed. Tossing and turning means keep moving in bed and cannot sleep properly. In the early hours of the morning, he got an idea. So he was unable to sleep. In the morning, he got an idea. Yes, that was the only way out. What do you think was that idea? We will read the story to know that idea. So, at around 8 that morning, Madan reached Nikhil's house. In the morning, around 8, Madan reached Nikhil's house. The door was closed and the curtains on the windows were drawn. Madan looked around. No one was there. Madan removed around 20 nails from his pocket and opening the gate walked along the garden path. Madan scattered means to threw or drop the nails as he walked along. He then quietly slipped out and getting onto his cycle pedaled away. So what he did? He dropped some nails in the garden path of Nikhil's house. Madan was sure Nikhil's cycle would have a flat tire. What is the meaning of having the flat tire means? Punctured by the nails. His bicycle, Madan thought that Nikhil's bicycle would get punctured by the nails. It would delay him sufficiently, resulting in Nikhil reaching late for the swimming competition. And if Nikhil reached late in the competition, it will become very obvious that Madan will win the competition. Fine. Naturally, with Nikhil out of the way, he would win quite easily. Paddling away furiously, his mind on Nikhil and the race, he failed to see a ditch. When he was riding his bicycle, then what happened? He failed to see a ditch. Ditch means a long channel dug at the side of the road. And after then the next moment, his bike skidded and he landed in the ditch. Skidded means his bike got slipped and he landed in the ditch. After 5 minutes, he got up slowly. It had been a nasty fall, but luckily nothing seemed to be broken. However, his clothes were in a complete mess. His clothes got very dirty. He picked up the cycle. He found that the handle was twisted. The handle of the bicycle was bent. And he tried his best to straighten it, but could not. He looked around helplessly. It was a lonely stretch of the road and was quite deserted. Deserted means desolated. It was not even safe to leave the bike there. Cursing his luck, he was cursing his luck. Madan wheeled the bike along as fast as he could. He looked at his watch. It was 9:45 and the club was still a good 3 kilometers away. He almost ran the entire distance, praying he would meet a familiar face that would help him. But clearly, luck was not with him. He wasn't finding anyone who could help him. By the time he reached the club, disheveled means untidy and bruised, marks on his skin. It was 10:15. After keeping his bike in the stand, he rushed towards the pool. To know whether the competition has been done or not. Has the swimming contest started? He asked the youngster. Yes, 2 events are already over. The youngster answered that yes, 2 events are already over. Just then he heard a shout. It was Nikhil. Where were you, Madan? I have been going crazy trying to locate you. Locate means to find you. Then Nikhil shouted that where were you, Madan? I was finding you. I was trying to find you. Then Madan panted and said, I had a minor accident. Panted means to breathe heavily. Even I had a little problem today. My cycle had a flat tire. Are you okay now? Get into your swimming trunks fast. In another 15 minutes, our race will start, Nikhil said. Nikhil said that get ready because in another 15 minutes, our race will start. My race? But 50-meter freestyle was to be first event. Then Madan said, but 50-meter freestyle was the first event. How is it possible? It was, but I managed to get it postponed. Then Nikhil said, I managed to get it postponed. Postponed means to delay. Postponed, but why? Then Madan asked, postponed, but why? Then Nikhil answered, because of you, silly. I told the organizers that you were the champion and we cannot have the trials without you. So, Nikhil said that I managed to convince the organizers that you are a champion of this competition and we cannot have the trials without you. Madan stumbled to the shore room, his head in a dizzy confusion. Nikhil had managed to reach the club on time. Then he had argued with the organizers to postpone the race so that Madan, could participate. How decent, how loyal of him. And he had played a nasty, mean click on Nikhil to prevent him from participating. As he emerged, he saw Nikhil racing towards him. Madan looked at him very quietly. Nikhil, I have to tell you something. Now, Madan wanted to admit his mistake, that what he did. Then Nikhil said, later we have to rush for the race. No, please listen. It is very important. I did not want you to participate. Then Madan started saying that I did not want you to participate. So I threw some nails on your garden path. So he admitted everything what he did. That is why your bike had a flat tire. When you told me how you had persuaded everyone to wait for me, I felt disgusted. Disgusted means strong feeling of dislike. He felt disgusted he said, I felt disgusted with myself. As a punishment, I will not participate in the race. I don't deserve to compete with you. Then Nikhil looked at him for a few minutes and said, You will, Julie, will do it. The very fact that you have realized your mistake is a tool. What is the word which our principal keeps using? Atonement. Yes, atonement means to rectify. Atonement enough. Now, come on, get going. Let me see you beat me in the race. Nikhil said, don't worry. Ignore these things right now. Let's go for the race. As the whistle blew, 10 young swimmers executed a perfect dive into the pool. Nikhil took off with Manan not far behind. At the 25-meter stage, they were neck to neck, and this position continued till the very end. There was a neck-to-neck competition. When the whistle blew, it was still not clear who had won, Nikhil or Madan. It was a photo finish. Photo finish means it occurs in sporting race when multiple competitors cross the finishing line at nearly the same time. So Madan and Nikhil completed their race nearly at the same time. Finally, the judges decided Nikhil had won a couple of seconds. Who won the race? Nikhil. But there was a good news for Madan too. Since Nikhil and Madan had broken the school record, they both broken the record of school. They both had been selected to represent the school in the inter-school meet. So they both had been selected to represent their school in inter-school meet. After the prize distribution ceremony, as they were walking out, Nikhil handed Madan a small plastic packet. Madan opened the packet. Inside were 20 odd nails. So Nikhil handed a packet to Madan, and when Madan opened that packet, there were 20 nails inside of that packet. What is this? He asked. Then Madan asked, what is this? Then he answered, the nails you had planted on my garden path. I had seen you doing it, and after you left, I had picked them up. So when Madan threw or dropped nails in his garden, Nikhil was watching Madan, but he didn't say anything. Why? Because he wanted that Madan will realize his mistake. Fine. So Madan asked, but you told me your cycle had a flat tire. But you told me that your cycle had a flat tire. Nikhil smiled and said, Madan, I wanted you to realize your mistake. Madan replied softly, I think I did. Today I have understood that it is not the winning or losing that is important. It is something more, the spirit of participation, and that is what makes a true sports person. So what Madan said, he realized his mistake and what we said that this is not about winning or losing, but the participation and the spirit of participation is, and that is what makes you a true sports person. So do not worry about winning or losing, just participate. It is all about participating. Fine. So this is all about this chapter. The chapter is written by Ravindra Kumar, as I told you here. So I hope you will read this chapter again. I'll see you in my next video. We will discuss some other things about this chapter. Thank you. Take care.